Amaka could no longer resist. For many nights, the whispers from the forbidden chamber grew louder. They came like soft voices carried on the current. Sometimes they sounded like women crying. Sometimes like laughter twisted with pain. Each time she passed the chamber, her heart pulled toward it. One night, when the palace was quiet, Amaka rose from her coral bed. The maidens who usually guarded her were asleep. The river outside was calm, glowing faintly with moonlight from above. She walked down the long corridor, her bare feet making no sound on the pearl floor. The chains on the forbidden door glimmered faintly in the darkness. Her hands trembled as she touched them. To her surprise, the locks fell open at her touch, as if the door had been waiting for her. Slowly, with a creak that echoed like thunder, the door opened. Inside was a chamber unlike any she had seen. Her breath caught. The walls were lined with skulls, human skulls, stacked from floor to the upper chambers. Hundreds of them. Their hollow eyes glowed faintly, and their teeth grinned in eternal silence. Amaka staggered back, but the door slammed shut behind her. The whispers grew louder, echoing through the chamber. Then the skulls began to speak. "We were brides, just like you. We came in beauty and hope. But now we are nothing but bones." Amaka's blood ran cold. She pressed her back against the door, her eyes wide with terror. One skull, larger than the rest, rolled forward and stared at her. Its voice was deep and sorrowful. "The goddess lies. She does not keep brides. She devours them. She drinks their life to feed her curse. You will join us soon, unless you escape." Amaka shook her head in disbelief, tears spilling from her eyes. "No, no, it cannot be true. She welcomed me. She called me her bride." The skulls mourned together, their voices rising like a mournful song. "All her brides end here. You will not be different." Amaka covered her ears, screaming, but the voices pierced through her soul. Her heart pounded with fear. She ran from the chamber, the door flying open as if it pitied her. She collapsed in the corridor, her body shaking, her mind filled with horror. Now she knew, her days were numbered. She was not a bride. She was prey. Amaka tried to act normal after what she had seen, but her eyes betrayed her fear. The goddess watched her closely. The other maidens whispered among themselves, their faces pale. One morning, the goddess summoned Amaka to her throne. "You went where you were forbidden," the goddess said, her voice calm but sharp as a spear. Amaka froze. She bowed quickly, her lips trembling. "Great Mother of Waters, I did not mean to." "Silence," the goddess thundered, rising from her throne. The entire palace shook, and the waters boiled around her. Her beauty twisted, and her eyes burned like fire. "You dared enter the chamber of bones. Do you know what you have done?" Amaka fell to her knees, shaking. "Forgive me. I only wish to know the truth." The goddess's laughter echoed, cruel and hollow. "The truth. The truth is death, child. The truth is chains and curses older than your village. You thought you could see and still live. No mortal sees and remains free." The waters rose like serpents, wrapping around Amaka's arms and legs. She struggled, gasping as the liquid tightened around her throat. But in her fear, she found her voice. "Why call me bride if you plan to turn me into bones? Why deceive me? What curse binds you to such cruelty?" The waters paused. The goddess's fury flickered, replaced for a moment by sorrow that flashed across her face like lightning. "You speak boldly," the goddess murmured. "Perhaps you deserve to know." She released Amaka, who fell to the ground, coughing. The goddess's voice lowered, filled with pain. "Long ago, I loved the mortal. I trusted him. I gave him my heart, my power, my secrets. But he betrayed me. In my rage, I cursed him and cursed myself. Since then, every 7 years, I must take a bride to feed the curse. If the villagers refuse, I'll cause the river to rise and destroy all humanity. Her voice broke into a bitter laugh. That is how I want it. That is why you are here. That is why you will join the others in the chamber when your time comes. Amaka's heart thudded with fear. For the goddess's eyes hardened again. Disobedience has a price, Amaka. You have seen what no bride should see. Prepare yourself, your end will come sooner than you think. The water swirled violently, and the palace trembled. Amaka knew then, she was living on borrowed time. Amaka was dragged before the throne, her wrists bound by ropes of living water. The goddess's eyes blazed like fire, her voice sharp as thunder. You dared open the chamber, she hissed. You saw what awaits you. Amaka's lips trembled. Why? Why take innocent girls? Why turn brides into bones? The goddess threw back her head and laughed, a sound so cold it froze Amaka's blood. Because it pleases me. Because your lives are nothing before me. Every 7 years, your foolish people bow and weep, yet they always give me what I demand. Do you know why? Because they are weak. Because they fear me. And fear feeds me more than love ever could. The waters around her throne swirled violently. The skulls in the forbidden chamber began to wail faintly, their cries echoing. You are no bride, the goddess spat, her lips curling into a cruel smile. You are meat for my curse. Your beauty, your tears, your pitiful courage, they will all rot, just like the others. When your flesh is gone, your skull will smile in my chamber forever. Amaka's heart shook, but she refused to beg. Her voice cracked, but she spoke. You are nothing but a prison of hate. One day, someone will rise and break your power. The goddess's eyes narrowed. She rose to her full height, towering over Amaka like a storm. Her voice boomed, shaking the palace. No one breaks me. I am Idemalai, the terror of waters, the devourer of brides. Your life is already mine. Struggle if you wish, cry if you wish, it will only make your end sweeter. The waters surged, dragging Amaka back to her chamber. She wept silently, her body trembling. There was no mercy, no hope. The goddess was not cursed with sorrow. She was cursed with cruelty, and she embraced it fully. Above the waters, Chak wandered like a ghost. He barely ate, barely spoke. His heart was consumed by one thought: Amaka is not dead. I must bring her back. The villagers pitied him, but none dared to speak of rescue. To them, the river goddess was untouchable. But one night, as Chak knelt by the riverbank, an old diviner appeared. His face was painted with chalk, his staff carved with ancient signs. Your love is trapped in the jaws of a serpent, the diviner said. If you truly wish to save her, you must dive into the river itself. But hear me, many have tried. All have been swallowed. Only with this may you stand a chance. From his cloth bag, he brought out a sacred god, bound with red and black cloth, humming with hidden power. This god holds the fire of the ancestors. When you face the goddess, break it. Its light will burn her darkness. But remember, she is cruel, she is merciless. She will tear you apart if your heart falters. Chak took the god, and tied it to his waist. His voice was low but firm. Let her be cruel. My love for Amaka burns stronger than her river. I will not return without her. At dawn, he walked to the riverbank. The villagers followed at a distance, whispering in fear. He is mad, no one enters the river and returns. The goddess will crush him, just as she crushed the others. But Chak did not listen. He tied the god at his waist and stepped into the water. The river hissed, as though mocking him. The current pulled hard, trying to drag him under. But the god was helping him to swim through, and with the help of the god he could also breathe. His heart roared louder than the waters. Amaka! Amaka, he shouted, even as the river swallowed his voice. The current twisted, pulling him deeper. Strange shapes swam around him, spirits with hollow eyes and sharp teeth. They clawed at him, tried to drag him down, but he raised the god, preventing them from stopping him. At last, through the black waters, he saw it. He saw it, the glowing palace of the river goddess. His jaw tightened. His eyes blazed. He whispered to himself, "I have come for you, Amaka. Even if I must fight a goddess." And he swam forward, straight into the jaws of the palace of death.
If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for exclusive, interesting and suspense-filled videos.